Check it. Amazing. Wow. Episode 136 of the Haejl podcast. And we're joined by the four horsemen themselves. The knights in shining armor. Hussein, Saeed, Jammal, Sherrif, Seif, and Nasr. Bam. Wow. Welcome to the show. There you go. And yeah.
We're only missing Paco.
We share the five horsemen.
Just a message from our sponsors, Naked Smoothie.
Yeah. Drink naked. Yeah.
Yo, we should get some endorsement on that.
Dude, honestly.
Canada.
Right?
Yeah. Send forward that cash to Lebanon. We could use that. Canadian dollars are accepted.
Canadian dollars are corrupt, man.
Like they're better than the Lebanese lira, that's for sure. So yeah.
Is Lebanese lira the worst currency? What's like the worst currency right now?
Venezuelan right now.
Venezuelan, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Like
Is it not the Zimbabwe currency, man? I remember reading years ago, like, if you want to buy 3 eggs, it's like 10 billion Zimbabwe dollars.
Like that, but they've improved. They've improved.
Funny.
Yeah.
They've improved, huh?
Mhm.
and right now,
Actually, Zimbabwe has better internet than Lebanon, actually. I remember reading that countries without food actually have better internet than our country.
we're competing with Somalia.
That's funny.
Not as Venezuela, but he's
Yeah, sure. Saeed, what's on your mind this week?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
All right. This week, basically, what's been on my mind is something that I've been doing through personal experience as well, like basically working on myself. Because if you saw me last year and from last year to this year, I kind of like completely changed as a
Oof.
person. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. No, seriously, like every time someone would see me last year, they'd think I'm tired. In reality, I was just depressed. And it's not something to look down upon, but yeah, that's what it was. I mean, and yeah.
Saha.
you can't.
Very unsuspicious.
Genuine cough.
Yeah. So basically, no, I know it's a genuine cough. I'm talking about the case that's going on with you. So yeah, anyway, going back, eventually I just figured out like, okay, this has been going on for too long. I should seek therapy. And I did. I sought therapy, and then I started sitting with myself more, like becoming.
Hey, man, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of therapy did you get? Did you get like psychiatric or like a like counseling, like just talk therapy?
Both.
Yeah.
So I went to see the psychiatrist. She prescribed me medication. Then she told me to see a psychologist. I did some therapy sessions with her. She was a bit direct in her approach, but like it helped. I guess I needed that. And
well, she told you cut
So
that
being
shit
a
out.
pussy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
no, she literally at one point indirectly told me you're boring. And I'm like,
Oof.
she has a point. Like, and yeah. No.
That's right, but he's
Bro, I
fine
can
with it.
tell you that you don't have to pay me. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's not true, bro. What is this bullshit, man? Why would I tell you that? It's not true at all. Man. What is this? I've met actual boring people. True boring.
That is true. There are boring people.
Who is just my approach to people, new people, for example. So I would just come in and during the therapy session, I'll just be sitting and like, yeah, this happened, blah, 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 blah. So that's how she pointed it out. And it helped a lot. And on top of that, I became more like in touch with my emotions, and this helped me with my family as well. I see.
Yes.
After all this period of time of just basically working on myself, I gained back my self-esteem, and at the same time I developed something where I didn't expect it to just come out of nowhere, which is something that a lot of people do need, which is to become more accepting of others, because this is something that no one, like a lot of people don't have. It's like if you see someone who's just pissed off or whatever, or being an asshole or anything like that, and you get offended, instead of you just like calming down, and then being the more temperate person in the conversation so that they calm down. Because when someone is like yelling at you and you're just like talking in a very calm voice, they notice and they get annoyed and like, why are you so calm? And this has happened to me. So people like they notice like, why are you so calm? And this subconsciously they realize like, oh shit, I'm just yelling too much. Like I'm not supposed to be talking this way because he's so calm and I'm yelling. Like it's supposed to be, same levels and stuff. So then they just tone down and relax.
I think the energy you give off yourself in the conversation or any interaction always changes the dynamic of the interaction. Like it always influences it, like the energy and vibe you give off.
Exactly. Like I give, like it depends on the person I'm talking to and what they're telling me. So I can tone being upset or getting really, angry and they just want to start shouting. I start toning it down and so that they can relax. And if they're feeling uncomfortable as well, I change the tone of my voice so that they can start, becoming more relaxed when they're talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things are just like small things that people like don't know about.
Yeah.
They just need
to been a really angry Red Cross leader, man. Like command them and yell at them. Hey, dude, where's your stupid bitch? I don't pay you for it.
So yeah, I guess this is something that people do. Which
it's small, but it's huge, dude. It's like
it's the small things, yeah.
It's the people are angry. People around them are usually more angry, and people are happy. People around them are usually more happy, and it's not a it's not a coincidence, right? If you go into any interaction, and you're gonna get out of it kind of what you put into it, right? So if you go in expecting like, oh, there's gonna be a regular dude, I'm just gonna talk to him and he's gonna like me and I'm gonna like him, it's gonna be fine. And then usually that's how it goes. But if you're gonna go in with the expectation of butt heading with this person, that's what's gonna happen. Yeah,
definitely gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this kind of thing is just, and this is really associated with psychology obviously. And Ali, I think you can agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
Ali's a psychologist, by the way. He can pitch in here.
Yes. Here, in Lebanon's a very confrontational kind of place. Like people out there will go up to you and they'll tell you 80 fake or something like my dick inside of you.
Yeah, bro. Paco. Where's Paco when you need him, man?
It's true.
One of our mutual friends in high school.
Versus like in the United States, people are like less confrontational, more like indirect.
Mm-hmm. Ali, I think it's the opposite, man.
What do you think?
Like in Lebanon, they're not confrontational at all.
Really?
Yeah, man. تيجي يجيب someone حبيبي وتقبر قلبي وكيفك ومشتاق لك ومنا نشوفك وما بعرف شو, you know. Their tongue runs all the time, lying. بياكلوا راسك, and then behind your back, like fuck that guy, he's an asshole. But that's the Lebanese culture, man.
Oof. I never thought of it like that.
That's the Lebanese culture.
Actually, he has a point. Actually, it's actually way more common in my experience to see people like just giving you like completely different face, and then like being an asshole behind your back. It's very common.
Anything in the West that people are more confrontational because they know they have rights. They know, like at least in Lebanon, for example, if you confront someone, there is the possibility the guy is gonna get pissed off and fight you. No, we're very small-minded.
It's true.
Small-minded people.
A lot of people.
That's not the bullshit, yeah. We get angry over really stupid stuff.
And you get into fights. You said what? About my who? About my mother? Let me stab you in the freaking.
Like in the US, you can swear somebody's mother. He's just gonna go like, "You're on video," and I'm gonna post it online. I'm gonna get fucked. Yes. So I believe like in the US, they're more confrontational.
What I want to
Facebook points deducted, man.
That's in Canada.
Yeah. What about China, man? What about like ما لازم اقول هالشيء على فكره على صوت عالي. نص الشعب هون ما يمكن ما بتعرفوا انا ما حكيت لكم لزمان بس فانكوفر مان نصهم والحياة الله محتلين هون المنطقه مان محتلين البلد.
I'm not gonna translate what you just said. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
But yeah, man, it's like I forgot what I wanted to say.
What was your point behind this? You're just being racist for no reason. Wow, Sherrif. Wow.
Cut the footage.
No cutting footage, dude. Exposed. Dude, well, this is.
Oh yeah, well, what I was gonna
dude.
say, the system they have over there, it's like the point system for the morale. Like it's good deeds, bad deeds. Maybe littering gets you bad points, while, for example, not jaywalking gets you positive points.
It's like an
And
app.
then, yeah, I don't know. I think so. And you can. It's like a system that overarches the app as well, and it also lets you like.
I know it, Ali, Sharif. I know the system. It locks your phone, man. Like everything you have. It's. I think it's WeChat. It's WeChat and another
WeChat,
app.
TikTok.
Yeah,
It's TikTok.
Alipay is one of it. Alipay is one of it, and everything
Alipay?
you do, you have to use Alipay.
Really?
Like my
Wow.
brother was talking to someone
Uh-huh.
in China. He wanted to talk about something business, yeah,
Mhm.
and he wasn't able to talk to him unless he downloaded the WeChat. And it's really like it's a controlled society. It's a controlled.
Man, they
society.
don't have Google over there, man. They don't have Google, man.
They have their own thing. Yeah, it's true.
They have their own, like, when they say Google it, they have something else. Like, something like other, you know?
They'd be like, huh? Nani?
Yeah, it's fucked up. Bro.
Yeah, man, it's like you can even redeem it for exclusive seats on airplanes. Like, it's crazy. Like, airplanes, restaurants. Like, you sit in the back of the train. It's like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Snowpiercer.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, Snowpiercer, Ali. Like, yeah, like they seat you in the back of the train, like in like the worst
It's by class,
seating,
huh?
the worst
Yeah.
security is. Yeah,
It
exactly.
depends on your
It's really
points.
bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Yikes. Well, that's the class system there.
Imagine this in Lebanon, man. If they punished you for jaywalking, like everyone would sit in the back of the train.
Well,
That'd be
yeah.
the-
I mean, the Lebanon's kind of the opposite in that it's like there is no government regulation really. It's just kind of like free. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
remember a year ago, actually 2 years ago, I was in the taxi, and suddenly the guy's like, "Put on your seatbelt, put on your seatbelt." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "They made a new rule where like they're actually enforcing it now. You have to put your seatbelt on in Lebanon. There's no like bullshit anymore." And yeah, it lasted 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, I like the taxi. I took a taxi in the same place. It was Hamra, the same exact district of the city, and the guy laughed at me for putting on the seatbelt. He's like, "شو عم تعمل? What are you doing? Putting a seatbelt on you, stupid." Yeah. Nothing gets enforced for too long, man.
Nothing
Not enough
gets
to see like
enforced
actual change. Like, you know,
Would you rather that or everything's being enforced way too hard, like in China?
Yeah, we're comparing now China to Lebanon. Like what
What would you guys
Yeah,
prefer?
controlled state or police state? Would you rather live in a police state where everyone follows the rules, or in complete anarchy, like Uganda? Man.
Oh my god.
That's fucking Uganda. You know, if you kill someone in Uganda, there is no police force. The people, I swear to God,
They're like
fucked up, man.
vigilantes, like this Batman character. He's
No,
like
no,
stops
it's
crime.
like, حتى my brother in Congo, like they're telling me, if you run over someone there, like the people, and especially if you're white, they will chase you and kill you. They will.
gotta go chase you and kill you. Bro, wallah, it's like Far Cry, man. Far Cry 2, man.
Fucked up, man. Complete anarchy. Everyone for himself.
Mhm. Yeah, dude, wild, huh?
Yeah, so
Honestly,
where
it
would-
begs the question, like, is anarchy better, and like all the chaos that comes with it and all the bad that comes with it, or like a controlled state where at least you make sure nothing bad happens, but you also limit a lot of freedoms.
I mean, this is one of the huge discussions here in the United States right now because Antifa is trying to make this country more anarchist, abolishing the police, right? Abolishing money, abolishing the government, and then after that, people,
And on that topic, is Seattle still like that?
dude,
Remember you told me,
it's still
Capitol Hill?
happening. Yeah, well, that got Chaz. I don't know if you heard about Chaz. That was like the autonomous zone. Yeah. So, but basically, Antifa did. They came, they raided this place, right? And they like kicked everyone out, and they owned this block for how long? But then you know what happened? People started shooting each other. People start raping each other, and then they were like, we don't want this anymore. And so yeah,
It's
it
like
got
south of
taken
the
down.
border. I know where I am, Vancouver. It's literally on the border with USA. Seattle's
Yeah.
right there. This is what Ali's talking about. Really happened like 2 hours away. No, hour ago. 2 hours away by like SkyTrain. by the
Yeah.
subway. It's like became The Purge, man, for like a few weeks. Like The Purge, the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Did you
like,
start noticing refugees in your town, Sherrif?
Am I noticing what?
Refugees in your town, like, people immigrate, escaping the war, the war in the south.
The war in the South has a new meaning, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
that's fun. Yeah, so that's the thing that's happening here also. It's a huge debate. Like, do we want the government controlling every aspect of our life, or do we want it to be like, yalla, let's go. Everyone should do whatever they want. I don't know.
Honestly, it's never going to happen in the USA because you always have the amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and you have your civil rights. You know the.
You don't always have things, Sherif, as governments can turn, constitutions can
Yeah,
be
man,
torn.
but it's been like 200 years. You know, like the USA has went through a lot of shit.
Freaking
They
Roman
went through the Civil
Empire.
War.
How long was the Roman Empire? The Roman Empire, or the
The Roman Empire was for I don't know how long. Ayad's area of expertise, man. He can chime in.
yes.
1,000 years. It was the longest empire in the world. Yeah. Lasted 1,000 years.
That's wild, huh? Yeah, 1,000 years. So you're telling America hasn't
Ah,
lasted
bro,
that
no,
long
it doesn't
yet.
have anything on the McDonald's empire, man.
The McDonald's Empire.
McDonald's empire,
Dynasty.
4,000 years.
Every McDonald's in the world is U.S. soil.
It's true. Yeah. So
No, but I don't think. it's that
Yeah,
bad.
man, the Roman Empire was so big. They used to say like the sun never sets on it or something, right? It was like,
that's the British Empire.
my bad.
You disgust me.
wrong history.
Man, I met an Age of Empires developer in my because EA is right next to us. Obsidian Entertainment, Respawn Entertainment, all the in like the city I live in, Vancouver. Yeah, I met a guy who's working on the new Age of Empire, man.
Oh
Age of
wow,
Empire, One Empire. I don't know why it's Empire. It's the same company, but yeah, it's their latest game.
that's so cool.
Yeah, he's always pissed off, man. That he's the one of the programmers. Apparently, they get abused a lot.
Oof. Yeah, dude, they make him work so many hours, but
EA forced them to pay microtransactions to work there.
I wonder why like young guys like us like playing Call of Duty and then Age of Empires and like all these war games. I feel like war is horrible, right? Isn't that the whole point of war? That's bad, people die. But it's like for some
It's
reason.
simulation, man.
I know it's a simulation, but why would we want to do? Yeah, why would we want to put our imagination through that trauma? Like people get PTSD through war.
Violent people.
We don't experience the actual horrific side of it, except in some games where you actually maybe see like who didn't like get depression after a ghost was killed in front of you, man.
Oof.
Modern Warfare 2. You guys remember that?
I
One
got
more loose end.
PTSD from that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it shows the better side of war, the more competitive side, the more like, strategic side, just the fun kill people with no consequences side, Call of Duty is very fast paced. Have you seen Ayad play Call of Duty, man? No, he's right here.
You seen Sammy Houston? There's no Sammy Houston live stream.
Yeah, these guys, man. It's like
Yeah.
one man army, the Punisher, man. I swear to God. Man.
I've been overtaken by Saeed, your boy,
Hey.
right there. Yeah, he's fucking destructive in Warzone. 18 kills, 16 kills.
The tables have turned, man. Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Next thing you're gonna tell me, Saeed rides his mates to battle too. It's like he also took your empire away, man.
This is too far fetched, Sherrif. Let's keep it real.
Let's keep it real, bro. If we were like alive 100 years ago, we'd be in World War One. 100 years ago, we were in World War One, right? Yeah. So it's like,
Actually, yeah, and the Prohibition era as well. Actually.
yeah. We'd all be in war in any other time in history than now. I feel like a bum that I'm not fighting or leading an army.
Yeah, man. Actually, Sami had to do the army for 2 years. Oh no, I think 8 months. 8 months. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mandatory service.
Actually, I couldn't renew my Egyptian passport just because if I did, I'd be forced to go to Egypt and do 2 years military service.
Really? Wait,
That's why
everyone in Egypt has to do the. Everyone in Egypt has to do it.
If you have a brother, yes. If you have a brother above the age of 5, yes. Which is my case. So I'm like, hell no. Man, my last time I renewed the Egyptian passport, I was 2 years old, man.
Wow.
That's the time I needed it, but then yeah, my picture's still Conscription is a thing in many places.
You know what you should do if you're in America. You just say he's not my brother. He's just like he's my confused younger sister. Get off it. You're like, whoo! I didn't know.
Confused younger sister, man. Yeah, that is.
In Egypt, they acknowledge that, to be honest. The concept of being a transgender or whatever.
I've had a few run-ins with those people, man. Here, like it's honestly the pronoun thing isn't to be.
He looks.
It's not something to be taken lightly, really. Like, I actually get pissed off. Like, there's this guy, one of my customers in my restaurant, like a few months ago when we were still open for dine-in. I called him ma'am the whole time. Ma'am, here you go, ma'am. I put in a conscious effort. When I gave him the bill towards the very end, I'm like, here you go, sir. Because the guy he looks like Henry Cavill, you know, Superman. He has like long hair. You're like, ooh. It's insane, man. Like it's very The guy got pissed off.
He got pissed off. Wait, he punched you in the throat like a woman.
He was Arab. Yeah, he was Arab. Too, so like
What did he do? What did he actually do?
What did he actually do?
Like he looked at he just put the thing down, the bill, the debit machine down. He looked at me like, حبيبي ما فيك تحكيني هيك. ما أعرف شو, like his voice, ما فيك تحكيني هيك, bro. ما شايفني مرة, like with that, like, you know, like he's telling me like, you can't see I'm a woman, but like with that gruff voice, like I'm like, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. It's lapse of concentration. I'm really sorry. I've been referring to you as ma'am the whole time. I just lost concentration. He talked to my boss and everything. Like my boss was understanding. I just lost concentration because my boss went through it before, so he understood. So like,
yeah. At least you didn't get fired. At least you didn't get fired for doing that, dude.
And to be honest, those people are sick. Yeah, no, you can't. No, really. Let's be real.
Sure.
Like, you know, if they weren't sick, he wouldn't have gotten pissed off. Because, like, you know, like imagine this is a phone. Okay, this is a phone, and you're gonna call it a phone the entire time. One day I'm gonna come and I'm gonna say this isn't a phone. This is a fucking attack chopper.
Well, I mean, here's the attack chopper. I think it's true. I think it ties back to what we said earlier.
Transformers
your approach. Like if that, like you could be like someone who's trans that doesn't get pissed off if someone misgenders you on accident. You could be a happy, good person that's kind to others, or you can be a jerk. That's the thing, you know. So.
And by the way, this is something that I feel like I've noticed a lot in the West, especially in Canada and the US. The way you take over the concept of freedom of speech, and then you like to impose your opinions on others. So, and that's not freedom of speech. That's just like it's a type of oppression in a way.
It's controlling.
Now I'm not saying you like you have the right to correct someone if someone made a mistake or something like that. I mean, and there are people who are gonna be like really abusive and assholes about the whole concept. And if you're a transgender, I'm 100% sure that they have probably suffered some type of something that was like like I don't know.
Yes, but not everyone's doing that. Most people like Sherrif is too busy thinking about other things than worrying about attacking some random customer. You know,
everyone is thinking like, oh, I mean, I want to offend you. I want to hurt you personally. I want to cause you harm. That's not what it is. You know,
it's not a good mindset to have. No matter who you are, once you take that victim mindset, it's horrible, dude. It's like your whole life you're just gonna think that you're a loser and everyone hates you. Yeah, it's not true.
And if you guys and if people want change, this is not the approach. Basically, constantly playing the victim in situations that don't really need that kind of mentality, it doesn't help. So, for example, in Sherrif's case, it didn't help. I mean, now it's not like Sherrif now changed his mind. He's like, oh yes, I should definitely become perfect. Everyone. If anything, this made them maybe annoyed, or I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like someone would react this way. If someone reacts to me as a jerk like that, I will become less accepting of their mindset, because because basically they're representing the people that they're standing for, and if this is the representation, then I don't people will think the other side will not want to associate themselves with them.
100% agree, man. Actually, made me very averse, like just avoidant of this type of. No, it's all to deal with, man.
It's so hard.
Any misstep in your communication, they just like get very offended and
because it's not just the person themselves, it's the way you communicate. It's both things. It's like if I'm just dealing with like a person that's just a person, I can talk to you the way I talk to my friends. But you want me to treat you like you're one of my friends, but you don't want me to treat you like one of my friends. What's happening here? Right? My friends don't judge me when I say something about a mistake, and right? They're like, oh, this guy did something stupid. They laugh, and that's it.
No, on top of that, they also become in their own essence, which doesn't work. That's not how you make someone like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The thing is, they use a lot of fear and threats as well. Like, like in this time and age, everything is being recorded and put on social media. And thing is, like, you probably didn't do anything wrong.
Like that. Ali, are you gonna put us out like that? Yeah.
Ali,
well, this is being recorded, dude. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not scared of saying
people with pitchforks and then fire torches outside my house tomorrow.
Sherrif maybe has it. I don't know. Well, I live in Los Angeles too, but also we like not like saying hate on anyone or anything. Just maybe with freedom of speech, it's like huge that you can't be censoring people. You can't. There were laws in Canada that passed that about freedom of speech because of, I don't know if you heard about Bill C-16. It's what Jordan Peterson was coming out about. You can't censor speech.
Hey man, what about freedom of hate speech?
Freedom of hate speech? Oof.
It's a form of speech, right?
It is a form of speech.
No. Freedom of hate speech is not something that should be allowed to be free about, because like this can lead to violent acts and cause people harm. Because
imagine of the way they would react. Sticks and stones might break my bones.
True. Yeah, but what's the line here?
Mm-hmm. No. You say it that way, but in reality, words do actually hurt you, because this is the concept of being more accepting of others. Like imagine you as originally as an Egyptian with the Canadian passport. Every day you're berated by being an Egyptian originally. Every day people just look at you as like انت واحد مصري انت I don't know why I said it in Arabic.
If you want to go your racist mode, you turn to Arabic mode. That's how it goes.
Basically, it's like, yeah, you're an Egyptian, you should leave the country. Mm-hmm. I mean, would you like that if every day people looked at you differently? People said this thing to you. Now, this doesn't apply because you don't look Egyptian. So you got it off honestly, and I'm gonna admit it. You got lucky with that concept. But if you
thankfully, Ayad, actually, just to comment briefly, when my connecting flight to Vancouver was, I stopped in Frankfurt, Germany. When I wasn't going to off the plane, the hostesses, the beautiful blonde German hostesses, man, they were like greeting every single person coming off the plane. They're like, good morning. When I came, they're like, guten Tag. I'm like, oh, no.
No.
Yeah, I look more European, man. Yeah, I know. I want to do that DNA test shit, man. See it. I have African genes as well, I'm sure, because my dad's Egyptian. So I'm like, yeah.
Hey,
around the world,
you're fast at running. Yes.
Bro, you definitely have African. You have North African.
But so on hate speech, the thing is, dude, with speech, it's the only thing we have, like, that's to express our opinion that isn't dangerous. It's like it's just words, you know what I mean? If you have a thought against
anything, I don't agree.
You can use your words for it as opposed to using your fist for it or a gun. That's what happens when you censor people.
I wanna say something about the type of speech that's being censored. It's so easy to do Sherrif's mistake that it's really fucked up to censor this kind of speech. That's the reason I hate it, because it's really, you're prone to slip ups. It's different than in Syria, for example. Okay, you're not gonna talk shit about the president. You're not gonna slip up and talk shit about the president. It's easy not to talk shit about the president there, but it's really fucking hard not to call a guy looks like calling any one of you she the entire 24/7.
Mhm.
It's more fucked up, yani.
It's just not automatic, man. You like we do and communicate so many things that are just like automatic. We just involuntary. We don't like concentrate. Oh, Ayad is a man. Okay, man. Hey, man. It's not like that.
And you know what? You know what the solution is in there. They're doing. I don't know if you heard of implicit bias testings. So you know what that is. So basically, in offices around the country in the United States, this was happening during like the George Floyd time when he passed, and they'd like make you do tests. Like, okay, like there's a black person and a white person, right? And they'll say like, sushi. Who likes sushi? Like, who likes rap? This one. Who is a gangster? Not this one. Who is whatever? Like, who likes ice cream or whatever? This one. And then they're like, yeah, you're racist. That's what they did, and it's not like my fault if by like implicit bias, like I associate this with that. Really, the thing is that I can make my own decisions and actions. It's not about what I think; it's about what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Sometimes you think, listen, you see a baby and you think you're gonna run and kick the baby. You're not gonna go and do it. Yeah, no, really, I agree.
It's
like,
true.
and I said, من قبل شوية, it's a defense mechanism, bro. It's a defense
You
mechanism.
can't control how you think, dude. It's literally it's automatic. It's
You go and you see something.
Kicking a baby in the head is a defense mechanism for you, Ayad.
No babies were harmed in the making of this video.
The way we perceive مثلا Sabra and Shatila and people coming from there. Like, would you trust a friend that comes from Sabra and Shatila as easily as trusting someone who's from AUB? No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't. Because they
racist.
are more like
Sexist.
in the corner.
I want to comment on this, but how is this relevant to hate speech? This is just now more of a like.
I think he's referring to stereotypes, man. Like the general consensus about a certain type of subgroup of people. Like, it's not just people don't condemn others for race only. It's never almost never like that. They associate certain types of behavior, certain traits of their culture. It's like so stereotypes that are just ingrained in you through experience and through learning of other stories, and then you immediately associate that with them. You know, it's of course now we have a conscious mind that we can actually process and think otherwise. But the automatic reaction oftentimes is just to. It's the same reason, مثلا, you see it many times in America in many social experiments. مثلا, there's like, for example, a woman. No, there's like a woman in an elevator, and then a man of color walks in, and she just instinctively just puts her purse closer to her. It's just automatic sometimes, and sometimes you have to think, no, okay, I shouldn't do that. It's offensive, and you just put it back down. But sometimes just out of fear, you know.
Better safe than sorry. And also you can't control how you think, right? And here's my opinion. It's maybe a little controversial, but it's like, okay, let's say you have a very hateful idea, right? So you say that idea, and then everyone says that guy's a dumbass, and you use your freedom of speech to criticize the guy, and then their idea gets wiped out. And everyone sees that, oh, maybe this idea is bad, and everyone else has the right idea about it. Maybe I should listen to this. So these is how you debate ideas. But if it's like, yeah, you can't say this at all, well, now like these people have other channels to to talk about what they want. I don't know. Like, you lose that debate of ideas.
I agree with you 1,000,000%, man. Like, if you don't let people debate and talk about those ideas, a group of like-minded people are gonna come together and form the KKK.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you let the KKK just speak themselves out, they would like everyone be like, these guys are the guys you shouldn't be talking to. They're assholes, right? They're racists. Leave them alone.
People would debate them.
But now they hide. Yeah, would debate them and challenge them, and maybe you could convince somebody by talking to them.
There's this black guy, you know, this black piano player, I think. Yeah, he convinced like 3 KKK members to leave the KKK.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
I'm not sure about it. And Antifa called him racist.
Stevie Wonder? Oh, wow. They call him racist for hanging out that watch. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You can. I love how Antifa can call a black person racist. There's something, whenever there's like a black conservative, they're like, he's a racist. I'm like, what?
I was talking to Ali last week on a phone call, and he mentioned that like a lot of his friends are divided, like on one side of the divide, very extreme, either pro Biden or pro Trump. you said something. You're like, one of your friends, like he's black, and then he said they told him that if he supports Trump, if he votes for Trump, then he's a white supremacist.
Chappelle show. Something you'd see on Dave Chappelle show.
So are you convinced, Saeed?
No, I'm still not convinced. That's not the concept that I'm talking about. Because what you guys were saying is more of prejudice and like the way people think before when they see someone beforehand. And this is usually from the way you're raised and the culture that you surround yourself with. But the concept of freedom of hate speech it's okay. So when you guys talk about hate speech, are you referring to people just basically talking about saying the N-word and like saying everything talking about like Arabs and as terrorists?
Well, then League of Legends would be full of that.
Let me just finish this thing. Is that what the hate speech is for you, or is it that? Wait. All right. Is that hate speech for you, or is it more like people just like being able to normalize what these kind of words and forget whatever happened and just like we can say these words.
This is hate speech, and I don't think we should censor hate speech. Especially because let's say
we have Haejl on one episode. And he's like, yeah.
Listen to the logic.
No, man, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
My thought process. Wouldn't you want to know who those racists are?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to know who the racists are?
Yeah.
If you censor that kind of speech, it'd be hidden racist in your society, like poison.
And then you think everyone's a racist. Then you think everyone's a racist. When it's not really everyone's a racist. Just a couple very bad people who can't say who they're. Yeah.
I'd rather know who those people are, and society is gonna shun them.
That's true.
If society,
I agree with Ayad because if you don't let them speak, it'll honestly manifest in many subtle ways.
People, once you find out who they are, once you find out who are these people who are the racists and you want to shun them, basically any other racist that comes after them is just gonna not talk publicly because there are laws against it. I mean, you're gonna be kicked out of the community for it. So technically, there is no freedom of speech because you're kicking out people who are doing hate speech. So how's that freedom of hate speech in your mind? Freedom of hate speech is you're allowed to speak hate speech without anything happening to you. So it's like if you say if you start calling people, it's like saying, it's as if I just started telling you, fuck you Ayad, fuck you Ayad. If I tell you that, that's normal. So imagine that instead of me saying fuck you, I'm saying something very derogative and like that has to do with hate speech. As for example, you being German. If I say something that's really insulting that has to do, you're gonna get offended.
Don't you dare! Not on the show. Not on the show.
Half his viewers are German or something.
Don't you dare insult the German.
Scheisse.
That way, but like that's the freedom of hate speech. So if I say that, I'm being racist, but you're not allowed to do anything. Like the government isn't allowed to shun me or do anything to me because freedom of hate speech. That's basically hate speech. And you're
government.
You want to use the freedom.
You're talking about side in the law, right? How do you define hate speech in the law?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to ask from you guys. Like, what is hate speech for you?
I see.
I got your point. And going back point by point, saying that people are gonna shun him, and he's like there's difference between society not accepting a person who's a racist, and the government saying you're not allowed to say certain type of words, and people being afraid of the government. And then those racists are hiding behind the fact that oh, we care about freedom of speech. We're not with hate speech. But those racists are hiding behind the fact. But on the other hand, like, ما بعرف, like, إنه if you have, I don't know, man, like,
I think I understood what you're trying to say. People have
yeah,
freedom of hate speech, but the government doesn't do anything about it. Community, they shun them. So basically, they stop being nice to them and treating them.
Okay.
yeah, people wouldn't accept them.
But that still is a type of like a concept of bullying. And I'm not saying it's like they should accept them and whatever, but that's kind of the point of what I was trying to say in the beginning. It's like we should all be accepting no
That's
matter
true.
what.
We shouldn't be using hate
If you
speech at all.
If you reject these people, they're still gonna meet up, form the same groups because they all feel rejected together. So they're like, oh, you're rejected, let's become friends. And because I am also rejected, so we can create this like-minded community, like you mentioned earlier, and form the KKK. So both ways.
That's how we became friends in high school.
Oh my, dude, everyone was like ostracized. Yeah, they hate speech. Funny.
We're shunned by society. So yeah, no, it both ways is gonna lead to that. But unless
Then why does it have to be written down in law?
No, unless people become more accepting of these people who have the concept of hate speech in their minds. So okay, someone says hate speech, but it doesn't. But like, it should become more not normalized, but less offensive. Not like
Yeah, you can like talk to. It's not like you kick them out. They're people too.
Like, no. Like, people who are saying hate speech, they should find a way to become less of assholes and
less
just like
hateful.
Yeah, and for example, when we do hate speech, we don't do it as like we want to insult people. We do it as jokes. Now,
no, speak for yourself. I don't do it.
Sherrif, speak for yourself.
Marwan, if you're watching, my boss is listening. Marwan, if you're watching, I don't do it. I swear.
I agree with Sherrif. Speak for yourself. I do it as hate speech, not as jokes.
I do it as straight hate speech. Straight racist.
Honestly, you guys already فضحتوا حالكم من اول الابيزود سواء. فانكوفر شو اسمه اخذوا كل فانكوفر وما اعرف شو باينين خلص مكشوفين. But
looks over his shoulder. Yeah.
والله منيح I didn't get shot in this cafe.
Well, I mean, do you have exactly? Well, people will like, for a lot of people, just talking about this.
Yeah, it's
just to like take it down, right? So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, because at the same time, the people who are receiving the hate speech are allowed to return their opinions as well, and if they want to return fire, that's up to them.
That's up to
but and the other side should also, the one who is providing the hate speech, should be accepting of what that person says. I feel like this is how it works. It's more of like I'm a chill on okay, basically it's just you're letting it all out, and this should be done for like maybe in like groups where, for example, like group therapy and stuff like that, where just people just talk about it. Like,
it's not racist.
Like hate speech.
It's like, I freaking hate the Malaysians.
No, don't.
The way they have monkeys in their country, I freaking hate them. I don't know. Coconut trees. Fuck Hawaii. Fuck the surfers. Fuck them all.
Something I wanted to talk that
I'm not actually racist towards Hawaiians or Malaysians. It was an exaggerated joke.
Something that I wanted to also reply to that Hussein mentioned earlier in the episode about how Lebanese people are here and how in the West they're confrontational. The thing is, you guys, the way you describe these personalities, they exist in both countries. It's not only in the West where they're confrontational. I mean, here you have confrontational people. Yeah, and if someone is okay, we also have like fake people, but I'm pretty sure in the US you also have fake people. Like two-sided people. Exactly. So it's not something that's restricted to a country or specific communities or anything like that. It's personality. Personalities that exist all around the world.
I see. At least in like in Lebanon, there's a community. There is some kind of, you have to work with people with different backgrounds and different races. Versus here in the United States, you really can work from home, tune out everybody who's like, you don't like and never have to talk to anyone you don't like. Versus in Lebanon, as Ayed was saying, you do at the end of the day have to like be friendly with the people around you, even if you disagree with them or don't like them.
That's because we're not as advanced technologically as in the US. So I feel like if we had the same, like same facilities and like services as the US, I think we would be able to do the same thing. Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure a lot of Lebanese people here don't want to really interact with each other
Sure.
while they're
But exactly, but you have to do. That's the whole point of a community is that you have to get along with people you don't like, and that way you get like you build a community. It's like you learn to be more accepting.
Thing is, man, Lebanon, you shouldn't forget the fact that Lebanon is like also a country where there is a lot of rampant racism, but it's just a lot, it's not as prevalent, outwardly prevalent or like evident, because there's a lot more problems in the country, like economically, politically, everything. The way maids are treated, man. In Marrakesh alone, where I lived all my 7, 8 years in Lebanon, the number of Ethiopian maids that committed suicide is so high. Jumping off balconies straight up, like they can't. There's so much racism and so much like slavery. It's like modern day slavery where we are, man, where we used to be, like where I used to.
It's the kafala system. Basically, that's the point of it. It's like modern day slavery, but no, they include a contract. It's like that's it.
Contracted slavery. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's no
contracted servitude.
It's such an ironic statement. Contracted slavery, like you sign it, like yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is to be. And recently, that's been about.
Bro, بيجيبون they get them here مثل Madagascar, man. Like like a wooden crate هيك. They're like, come, enter this crate.
That description's so funny. They land on the beach. They open up in the crate. Hey, I'm in Lebanon. Such a beautiful
Promise
country.
of a better life. Yeah, promise of a better life.
Wow. Just have to sign this contract, okay? What? My passport? You need my passport? You need my money? Yeah.
Man, we're just shitting on Lebanon right now. By the way, another thing to shit on in Lebanon, when you were saying that we have to accept each other and stuff like that, that doesn't always happen because, for example, right now, in I think in Baalbek or something like that, the Jafar family are closing a daya called Al Badawiya or some shit like that, and they don't. Yeah, with trucks that have 50 cals on them, and they're closing the roads with other cars, and they all have like guns and mawarishu, all in return. They have rocket launchers, everything. Because they have a conflict with another family called Al Shammas family, or I think.
Fuck those guys, honestly, dude.
Al Shammas family. So there's your accepting each in Lebanon,
Yeah,
it's like they're
playing tower defense against each other, man. Literally tower defense.
No, and by the way, these same people in the same areas fight against the Lebanese army whenever the Lebanese army wants to come and, like, for example, do a raid in the area against what's it called, hash dealers. Wants to like stop the production. These lands are defended by those families.
بس Saeed, if you hear their point of view, كمان you might get convinced.
No, I did. Well, I agree with them. Their point of view, بالعكس, it makes sense because if you legalize it, it would be خلاص. It's
even other than legalizing it, just job opportunities.
Like, I mean,
exactly.
Lebanon needs more than anything.
There was this documentary where they literally interviewed people from those areas, and that's why I mentioned that they defend their lands against the army, because the army doesn't, the Lebanese government doesn't provide a substitute once they take away their only crop that makes them money and earning, basically. And it's not like all of them are making so much money from it. No, a lot of them are just like basically they're just farmers. They're just farmers that are growing the crop, and then like there are some people who are making a lot of money out of it, but it's not everyone's making so much.
They sell other drugs as well. Those people sell other drugs as well.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, and if the government at least provided a substitute or an alternative where they can make money or a living out of it, then it would make sense why the army is going and like just removing these lands, removing those lands, but they're not providing anything in return. They're just going and destroying their living.
Oh, just destroying it. Wow.
Yeah,
Yikes. Yeah,
like
dude.
legal, because it's an illegal product that in by law. So
Mm-hmm.
the army has the right to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who's
Wait,
on
but
me,
why
Seif?
can't they farm anything else? Can't they just farm potatoes, man?
It doesn't work that way. I mean, I'm not
I'm not a farmer.
I'm not a farmer to say, but I think like the lands aren't very
Mhm.
Was the like
cultivation.
if you notice in every country, in almost every country, farming gets subsidized, but heavily subsidized by the government
Mhm.
in every
Yeah.
single country. Yeah, the agricultural sector, but I don't think they receive these subsidies. So yeah, they're
Yeah.
unable to.
Yeah,
make
yeah.
profit.
In
I
Lebanon,
think it's an essential industry, man. It's extremely essential. Agriculture is like so important.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of exporting shit from outside, why can't we grow the shit?
right now, agriculture is one of the most important sectors, like in the world, because of how rapidly declining it is globally. And in Lebanon, the Ministry of Agriculture is always saying that we're going to help the farmers and subsidize the products and what
Yalla.
yada yada
Mhm.
shit like that, promises, and then nothing happens. The agriculture industry does not get supported properly, and we just import most of our stuff. I mean, literally 90% of all of our products, 80 to 90%, is imported. How are
Yeah,
we?
wild, huh? Yeah, right.
How do we live like this? I don't understand.
That's true. And then people aren't working, right? Just put them to work to make the things that we need. That makes right, isn't that?
No, and then you wonder why do we have an economic recession and like the Lebanese pound,
Economic
Lebanese lira
collapse, man.
is
Mhm.
collapsing and what issue.
Mhm.
So I
So,
mean,
aside is why can't people just do it on their own, like build agriculture or business and like bring
They
back
need
the
subsidies.
they need subsidies from the government to do it.
it's not
Yeah, they
cheap.
need
Not cheap.
fertilizers.
Mhm.
Not everyone has the money to just basically support them a business, an agricultural business, to do anything like this. Any kind of
Yeah,
business that's not subsidized, especially in our current market,
Mhm. Yeah.
is gonna be hard to
Who's gonna buy
succeed in.
stuff? No one has money to buy things.
unlike
Also,
unlike other businesses, farming is a year-to-year business. Like it's very risky.
Mhm.
If one winter it doesn't rain, what happens a lot in Lebanon, you're fucked.
Oof.
Yeah. So true. It's happened before. It's happened recently, like 3 years ago, when we basically we almost had a drought, if anything, and then 2 years later it just started raining so much. Like we had a better winter season than before.
Mhm.
But it's not like it covers up, the losses or anything. I mean, in that year people did suffer a lot. So
Just
it's
delete
not like this
an
one
entire
year
year of profit.
great. What?
You delete an entire year of years of profit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
You lose
Wow.
money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. Right.
But since we're on the subject, Saeed, politics. What's the problem in Lebanon? How are we gonna fix it?
Yalla.
What's the problem? Oh,
Ayed, wait, Ayed, you saw the miserable, right? How do they fix the government then?
He had started miserable. Didn't only see it, started it, man.
let's wait until next week, please.
Man, all right. We'll save that topic for next week. Next week, we really need to sit down and try to figure out how to fix this country.
Why?
Why? It's a whole episode. Please, it's not an episode. It's a series of complicated shit that we can debate and talk about.
Let's start it. Let's
start. Sure. What do you think, Saeed? What do you
Bro,
think?
Sneak peek.
Every ministry that is
every ministry that exists is broken.
not only broken, it has to be changed, has to be fixed.
Oof.
Obviously, the ruling class all has to be removed.
Mhm.
Not a single one. By the way, I was thinking about this. There's this one thing that I do want to talk about. I was thinking about it before the episode, was when people vote for members of parliament. Basically just members of parliament. they vote as if these members of parliament represent them from that area, but in reality they don't. So you get, okay, so for example, I'm from Beirut, I vote for the people who are running in Beirut.
Mm-hmm.
But once they are members of parliament, they do not represent Beirut, they represent Lebanon, which is great. But the thing is, the people who get into parliament and the people who get ministries and whatever aren't there as representatives of Lebanon. They're there due to a agreement that comes with the political parties. So, for example, in the U.S., there's something called gerrymandering, where they adjust the borders of states so that different voters vote in different states, so that specific politicians win due to the demographic in that state. The same thing happens in Lebanon, and also for example, when Bernie Sanders dropped out so that Joe Biden could have Biden wins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same thing also happens in Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who are told to. Okay. Nice.
And قطع الكهرباء يلا, not the first time on the show.
Yeah. Anyway, going back.
Mhm.
What exactly was I saying?
You're talking about like so people do try to run and fight the ruling class, but it's just so coordinated.
Wait, just a second. Here you can see the difference in the class between Lebanon's population. You have the wealthy, extremely wealthy at the bottom, Hussein Ayad, and then you have the middle class struggling for electricity and water. Shown right here live.
Shit.
الموتير man.
It came faster than you think, dude. It came, just 1 second. It's
Nothing
not
else,
bad.
full money,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a good thing I have a UPS as well, so that the Wi-Fi stays.
Ayad has his Ugandans on bicycles, man.
Ah.
So yeah, these people who are supposed to be representatives of Lebanon are not actually representatives of Lebanon. They're just representatives of their political parties, which is not beneficial for the country. And that's what it basically led up to this problematic concept of forming governments. So right now, we don't have a government. We have a resigned government. And the reason why they can't formulate a new one is because they can't come to an agreement on the people that they want to put in the government.
ماشي.
And when I say government, I mean the ministers. And who's the prime
Mhm.
The idea is they should
Yeah.
vote for ministers. They should vote for the ministers on the spot. That's the problem in Lebanon. They all the political parties come to an agreement before the voting happens.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that in the last elections, if only the revolution, the 17 Tashrin occurred before the parliamentary elections in 2018. If that happened before then, I think we would have had a way different parliament, with a way different government and everything.
When are the next elections in Lebanon?
2022.
2022? What are you gonna do until then?
We're not gonna last. We'll get the fuck out.
What is that nonsense?
Exactly. No,
Saeed,
it's 4 years.
you should
I
run. Saeed, you should run for parliament. Go, do it. Start a revolution. We always talk about it.
Weaponize the Red Cross, man. You should weaponize the Red Cross.
Dude, weaponize the Red Cross, dude.
Make it a parliament. Make it a political party. Yeah.
Like, and you politicize the Red Cross. There you
We
go.
want the benefits of the country, and we would provide you with medical care.
Hey, I know CPR. That's good. This guy should be. Yeah, this guy knows so well.
Saeed's putsch. Saeed's great march to Beirut, from Shammari to Beirut.
Damn.
Helm's Deep, man. He's gonna make it shit Helm's Deep, man. He's gonna march on Helm's Deep.
Oh, bro, I gotta be there for that. Wait till I come to Lebanon to do that, dude.
Got to document it, Ali.
Yes, I'll film the revolution. Getting shot. Ooh.
So we can talk about. I mean, there's so much other shit.
Yes.
For example, the agriculture ministry, the electricity, the water, the dams that they constantly want to build that are fucking up the nature in Lebanon, which have many.
Isn't it weird, like, asking them to build the dams? I did got confused. Even
Yeah,
the
they're
French
okay.
fans,
They were asking money from what's it called, the IMF, to build a dam, but due to the passing of the deadline to receive that money and get the proposal accepted and whatever, they didn't receive the money. And this was also involving the protests of the people, because there was almost every day there was protests where on the location of where the dam was going to be. But the thing is, now that they lost that location, they want to go build a dam in another location that's below it. So they still want to fuck up the area. That's not like, I know, they stopped. Like, okay, we're not going to build a dam there and we're stopping. No, they want to continue. Yes. So yeah.
Wild. Oh well. That and so much more. We got to figure out how to rebuild Lebanon from scratch. I can't wait. We can't wait for 2 years to do that. Come on. Yeah.
A whiteboard, Ali, and we'll start.
Like on the whiteboard, yeah. On the next episode. On the next episode of A2 the Show. You guys, this was a real fun having you guys on. The Four Horsemen reunite for this episode, and yeah, check it. Until the next one.
You need Buck on the next episode.
Dude,
man.
we need we need to bring him on the next episode, Zen. All right.
But assure us to make any progress with the planning.
It's like any idea is like, nah, that's stupid. How about you can't do that? Cool, man. Yeah. All right. On the next episode, Ayed, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Thank you. Good.
It was a pleasure having you.
Yeah, Sherrif. It was a pleasure having me on the show. Sherrif. Good. Salam. Saeed.
No, I'm good. I think I'm done. I talked a lot.
Yeah, we talked a lot today, and we're going to keep talking some more. We're not going to shut up. So tune in next week for another one of these. And all right, folks, this is how we sign out. Salute to cover the cam. And I'll see you all next time.